Alright, so this is Casey. This is a 67?
Yes, sir.
67 Chevy C-10. It was a long bed. When he bought it, he picked up a short bed. It's off on the side of the house. I haven't even seen that yet, but he already chopped the frame, got it shorter. His gripe is that the bed is also blue, but it's a dark blue. The patina on it is actually kind of cool and kind of nice, but the bed being a completely different color annoys the shit out of him. So he's a fan of white vehicles, so we're gonna do a quick and dirty paint job on this thing, just to get it shiny, one color, and looking halfway decent from 3 blocks away.
White and holy.
White and holy. Holy being the rockers, the cab corners, doors. Is the bed in pretty good shape?
Not bad. One of the fenders has a slight matching hole to it.
Okay.
But otherwise the bed's not bad. Interior is a wood bed, so
okay.
I'll get one of the wood kits or do the routing their own and doing the trim pieces.
But we'll paint the inside of it to match.
Yep.
Okay.
And then my goal is to do a gray stain on the wood when I put the wood
nice.
in there.
Oh,
so
okay. Oh, good.
And I saw a guy on a C-10 performance page that had a clear tailgate. So you cut the center out of the tailgate and you put a piece of clear plexiglass in it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let's see that then.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, it's going to be, again, quick and dirty. We're going to be painting this thing tomorrow is the idea, and we've literally just walked in and it's already past noon. So,
yep.
Not a lot of talking, just go, go, go. This it won't be exactly a how-to step-by-step, but kind of show you what it takes to just do something really, really fast that will at least stick a little bit. So we're already getting as much trim and things out of the way as we possibly can. That makes sense, that's easy, but we'll update you here shortly.
We got one.
Should we ask the C-10? Should we ask the C-10 experts if this is the proper way to remove these?
You know, there's a YouTube video for everything. So.
Okay, we'll go check that. Maybe too late. Alright, all the little holes are welded shut, ground down. Gonna put a little bit of Bondo on them. Why? I do not know. There's giant frickin' rust holes 6 inches away, but that's a little bit of Bondo in there. Since we're completely out of time, we went ahead and filled the gas hole as well because we're already doing things that don't make sense, so might as well just keep to the theme. Alright, we're working on the bed. We're going to try to get a roll pan put in. Probably just kind of semi-temporarily. Just doing it quick, so I don't want to put it in the wrong spot, weld it in or anything, but we'll take a look at it. Trying to get the major huge dents out and stuff, but got the wood floor out to show it everything that would hold so much insane amount of dust and dirt and everything, just getting those out of there at least. Getting the taillights off, stuff like that.
We're going to go back with some LED lights.
What? Why not these Altos?
I'm pretty sure that...
What is that even off of?
I'm not even sure.
Is it a farm truck equipment, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't want to be a farm truck.
finally start doing our prep work that we've been saying we've been going to do for the last 8 hours or so. But we're gonna start with 320 grit, just on a couple sanders, and start going to town. Maybe on some of the heavy rusty areas, maybe go to a lower grit, but kind of see as we go. Casey's going to town on the bed still. We switched up grit tactics pretty quick. 320 is just way too fine. He's got 150 grit, I think, to get the rust and really bad paint chips smoothed out, kind of for now, and then we'll go over it again with 320 after to try to get a little higher grit in there. I'm going to get going on the cab and get this Bondo smoothed out real quick, and then start sanding the whole thing down with 320 as well. Alright, we spent hours and hours and hours and hours last night sanding everything we possibly could. He went 150 grit on the bed for any scratches or paint chips or any bad, really bad areas, which was quite a few areas, so he had to sand a lot to get it basically smoothed out. The cab is in a lot better shape. Did 150 in any of the bad spots, and then we did 320 grit over everything else when we were finally done. Right now we're getting, we got everything blown off, got the floor cleaned off. Did red Scotch-Brite after that to any crevices, basically anything you are planning to have white paint on or paint on in general. Just even under here, we just Scotch-Brited it just to get all the loose dirt and crap out of there, just so as you're painting, as you're going over an area, you don't blow a bunch of dirt back up on your paint job on accident. Getting the bed set up, he's pulling the wheels off so we can have enough room to get between the cab and the bed here to paint it as well. We're just barely going to squeeze in here, but we're going to work on this. Everything is pretty well masked off as much as we can. Not going to try to spray inside of here too much. We'll end up putting bed liner down later. Just put a little bit over the edge for now. Got the frame and everything covered up. The rest of this shouldn't be too terribly dirty, but we're not going to be spraying around that much at all. Got the front wrapped up pretty well. I'm going to try to spray the inside of the fenders a little bit. Ended up scuffing them up anyways, and figure might as well shoot a little bit of paint on them since we're here. We're gonna start cleaning this thing and hopefully start shooting soon. We're going to be spraying Nason for the color. It's just going to be a single stage urethane. We're going to lay down a sealer before we start spraying any color on this. So this is going to be an epoxy. Best way to explain this, epoxy, if you ever think of a two-part epoxy, if you think of that as far as a glue, it's, once it's dry, it's a very tough, strong coat, and you can usually put it directly on metal, bonding two different pieces of metal together. That's
good for bonds.
Exactly. So it's kind of the same thing, same theory.
Since I have a rough shaped truck, the bond is critical.
Yes.
To then lay down the.
Well, it grabs a hold of all this bare metal that we've got. So usually you use an epoxy for any bare metal, nice, perfect things that you don't want any moisture coming in and starting to rust it again. So epoxy, we can thin it down to use it as a sealer. Sealer meaning we're going to spray it down right before our color to try to blend these things together. So if you try to start spraying color over this, you're going to have all these different splotches of different colors kind of bleeding through a little bit. It's going to seal down any body work. This Bondo essentially is going to just soak this primer up really quick, and once you spray it down, you'll be able to see splotches where it's more dry in those areas, but once it gets in there and it dries, it's going to lock it down so your color is going to sit on top and not bleed through as well. But using the thinner, it's going to be nice and it's still going to have a nice sheen to it. It's going to be thin enough that it's not building up a lot of material and being thick and chunky. So it should lay down nice and smooth. But we're going to start spraying this stuff, and probably not going to film after this because we're using the nice GoPro here, and it's just going to be a magnet straight to this stuff. So we're going to set up a little camera behind the sheet, and hopefully be able to see it enough, and we don't have paint sticking to that. Well, we have a problem. This turned out way too nice for who it's for. Did one coat of sealer, of course. Then did 3 coats the single stage. It came out really good. Never really shot single stage before, and this is gonna make me want to do it a lot. And the problem is, this came out so freaking nice, he's never gonna want to fix the giant rust holes now. They'll pretty much stay there forever.
It's a really good temporary long-term repair.
The most long-term repair is a temporary one.
You know, it's like cross-threading a bolt.
Yeah, exactly.
The best Loctite.
Zip tying a muffler up. The only problems we really had is a small little sag here. Good little run there. I had a pretty nasty one there that I just sprayed a ton into it and just ran it out right out the bottom. So those aren't too bad. They'll wet sand and buff pretty easy. Just obviously not trying to make it show car, but try to get the runs out at least. Trying to get a wet edge on as you're chasing around is not the easiest thing to do.
Especially when you're making you jump over the cab.
Yeah, climbing through here and everything wasn't fun, but the hood was the biggest thing that you're going to see as far as a flat panel, so that's why I wanted to make sure it stayed, and it just turned out insane. The grill turns out amazing. The roof was the second thing I wanted to keep nice, and then What kind of suffered was just the back a little bit. It's a little bit dry through here, but not too bad. Nothing we're gonna worry about, obviously. All the prep work we did came out did really, really well. It's insane how smooth and nice this is. But that's it. Gonna let this dry for about 24 hours before we ever walk in here again and see if it's dried up enough to basically pull tape off and everything, but that's about it.